Okay, let's just start today's call. The first item is supposed to welcome Achana. She's going to spend this summer with us to help with some of the biometric project enhancements. She spent this week on getting things set up, and also there's some mandatory training and meetings that you need to attend for joining the institute. So when she joins, and then she can further introduce herself. The next agenda item is the implementation needs. I think we can just put that on hold while waiting for Derek and Lawrence to join. Actually, I want to talk about the last agenda item first. It's building infrastructure for the web presence. So we are planning to spend the next couple months on really getting our infrastructure set up in the website. Because the current website is quite basic, doesn't really have a lot of useful information, and it doesn't really have the confluence of Wiki and Jira to be there. So the whole goal is to migrate all our existing contents that from Git, also from Empath, Wiki, and Jira, as well as some of the documentations on Google Docs that all are going to be clean up and reorganize and put it on our website. Our new website will include the mUzima Jira, mUzima Wiki, as well as we're going to incorporate the demo site there. We also plan to have an update on our demo site because we realize that there's a lot of changes to the metadata while folks to do testing or just tried it out. It also caused some confusion for other users that, when some of the metadata is not there or things don't work expected. So we plan to have like a nicely built at night that's going to refresh the demo data so that it will stay fresh, after midnight. During the day, when people make changes, it still show there, but then after midnight, it will go back to the original stage. Another enhancement is Simon also helping us to regularly to update the code to the demo site, and we also do some masking to some of the providers and things like that. Simon, do you want to just talk about that one briefly?
Yeah. Okay. The first time I did move gold was sometime this week, and basically, usually we get the concept gold from the AMPAT system admin, and that means just an SQL script that we need to dump into our database. So being the first time, after I did the work, we discovered that there was our test server needed to have some users. That is the users who did create the concepts. So Ada discovered there were some errors, and therefore it was important for us to understand, after moving gold, what do we need to put in check? If there's anything we need to do, just to make sure that it becomes a practice and we don't always encounter errors. So for that issue, we ran a script to change all the records that were moved from AMPAT server, to change the creator to a default user that is on our test server. So the first thing that we have so far seen is that after moving gold, we need to make sure that the creators of all the concepts exist on the test server. But any other issues that we also need to keep in check, I think we haven't identified so far.
Yeah, so we're going to come up with like a kind of like a checklist or steps that we need to do every time we run the code update.
Yeah. Yeah. So we I don't know. So we need to document this somewhere.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a work in progress thing right now. I think maybe after a couple more updates, it will become quite standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably we shall want to capture the whole process, all the steps that are taken for how to do the dumping, and also the checklist of what issues to address after moving the gold.
Yes. Yeah, agree. So this would really help us to get ready for our open up our mUzima to bigger audience, because right now, even though it's open source, but we still kind of like try not kind of like purposely not to go too far outside of empath. Because of a lot of reasons, because the infrastructure is not really there to support the community and things like that. But once we, get our infrastructures ready, and we plan to reach a bigger audience, and at the time the traffic would be more would be increased. Another thing is that just because that we plan to open up to a bigger community in a couple months, I think we all need to talk about what is the best practice of doing documentations, and also updating and creating GRI tickets. I know that most of us don't like to update the ticket, or like sometimes the ticket is not very descriptive, and then we don't feel comfortable in asking questions on the Jira. But I think we and then sometimes maybe just have individual emails, or through the chat or things like that to ask for clarifications. I think in these 2 months I would try to push everyone to have the communication through the Jira as well as the listserv, so that we set up like a good standard for other people to follow, because if not, it'll become quite difficult to manage and support the community in a couple months. I wonder if you guys have any suggestions. What would be the best practice for in terms of dealing with the Jira and also communication through the listserv?
Hey, Ida.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you saying that because the Jiras are not getting updated accurately and on time with all the information?
Yes, correct. Yeah, because a lot of time I know that the developers, they already have the code ready, but it would be helpful just to, for example, if there's an issue, there's a bug identified, it would be helpful for the developers. Usually the developer would spend time to investigate what the problems are. It would be helpful to document on the Jira tickets, just to say that what the problems are, in addition to a pull request link. And then that would be really helpful, because a lot of time the codes are actually fixed, but from looking at the Jira ticket, it's hard for newcomers to know what the problems are. I
Right.
think just adding some simple explanation, just say that, hey, why it happens and how you get that fixed, along with a link to the code change. I think it will be really helpful for the newcomers.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, maybe we have a checklist which basically says that whenever you pick up a Jira, the first thing you have to do is go and, I mean, just say it at a very high level. First, assign the ticket to yourself, and I guess then we're supposed to fill in how long it's going to take us as the estimate.
Yeah, exactly.
And right,
Yeah.
and then maybe just say that I started working on the. I think once you say you assign it to yourself and then you move it to work in progress, and
Yes.
then if it takes longer than 1 day, or if you have additional findings, we can just say add it to the Jira. And at the very end, I think that's where the confusion happens. Is we usually just issue a pull request, and unless we really talk about it, I guess it just it's difficult to track, like you said. There are just
Yes, exactly.
so maybe we can at the end of the Jira we can move it to ready for test or ready for review or something, and then we add a pull request link over there, which shows that, and maybe a short note about how this issue was fixed.
Yes.
Uh, but I think we could just have like a one-page document which says
Yes.
this is the cycle of a Jira. This is how you work on a Jira from start to finish, and what is how do you take a Jira to the done state? Is it after the pull request is incorporated and then someone else tests it and closes it? What is the criteria for closing it? Maybe we could put together a document like that and share it with the mUzima dev groups, and so that everyone can follow that at a high level.
Yeah, I
If it
agree.
becomes important, if it becomes like steps that have to be done, I think then people won't skip on it. And I think most of the time it's just because people are forgetful or,
Yeah, it's a reminder. Yeah, I think it's more, the checklist would be more like a reminder because
exactly.
sometimes we forgot. I mean, it's really hard to follow every step sometimes. But it's just nice. I agree with you. It's nice to have like a reference page that people can reference to, so that they know what to do, if especially when they're new.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. So I can put up the initial version of this checklist and share it with everyone, and then maybe if there's some points that I've missed out or some another way which someone else thinks is a better way to do it, or we could edit it and find out which is the best way for all the developers, and then use that checklist in the future. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, that would be really helpful. Thank you so much, Ms. Rita.
Sure.
I think that'll be great.
Okay.
And also, I think after that, after your draft, I think for example, and I also want to ask you guys how we can reorganize our call and the Scrum time that to align with what we talk about, like the best practice for documentation and also Jira and ticketing, because we might need to rethink how we spend our time on the call and the Scrum. Whether we need to have another call in the early of the week just to do as needed, maybe triaging or clarifying some of the tickets, and then to have the Friday call more on like discussion of like more high level thing, and or maybe demo and showcase things like that. Or you guys think that it's fine just to keep the Friday call as it, and then just use it for both purposes? I'm just up for like discussions right now. Just want to hear from you guys.
For us, Ada, I think this is really a good idea because obviously because of the time difference, we lose out a lot sometimes when we're stuck on things and we really wait. I mean, of course, you guys have been very prompt, but it would be really nice for any team to start off on a Monday morning knowing this is what they're going to work on for the whole week. And
Okay.
then, like you said, Friday would be more of a wrap up or like an update on whatever we have accomplished through the week, or maybe have some another topic which is not really related to Jira's, but general topics like what you mentioned. But yeah, I think a Monday call would be great.
Okay, great. Because I think like sometimes it just having 1 hour call actually save a lot of time in communications, like asking for clarifications or understanding things like that. That's how I see it. So I was just thinking about like a more effective way for us to clarify the issues upfront before anything that any development starts. Yeah.
I agree. I like it. Maybe we should try it out and see if everyone it's helpful for everyone too.
So what do other people think?
I think it's a good idea. But just so, what time would this be? Would it be the traditional 2 to 3 p.m. Monday?
Yeah, I think it will have to be 2 to 3 your time, so that it would be 4:30 to 5:30 Indian time and 7 a.m. out the Indiana time. I
Okay.
just wonder if it works for everyone. Do you guys think like we should do like on Monday so like just to clarify what the assignments are for the week, and then so we even move the Friday call to Thursday, so like even that you do showcases, and then you have Friday just to clean things up before the Monday start, things like that. We're flexible of like just come up with whatever, the best options like for the team. It was for most of us, yeah. So do you guys like Monday, Thursday, or Monday, Friday, or other options?
This is Steven on this other end. We think Monday, Friday would be appropriate.
Okay, cool.
Likewise.
Just for clarification, on Monday, what time?
Sorry?
On Monday, have you suggested on the time?
Yeah, Monday, 2 p.m. your time.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Me too.
Oh, and I wanted to suggest Monday, Thursday, but looks like my vote would be may not count.
Let's just try it out, and then it just like keep in mind it's just like testing right now, just to see if it works for everyone.
Okay.
And then we can always come back and make changes if it doesn't work or you guys don't find it helpful or effective. Yes, I really like that too, Win. This is the next thing. Yeah, this is really the next thing that I think about it as well. Win suggests I do like bi-weekly sprints and things like that. So I think it would take us maybe 2-3 weeks to come up with the structure of the sprints. So let's just have the Monday call for the next 3 Monday call just to figure out what we plan to do exactly, and then we can stick with focus on like a sprint thing. But I really don't want us to overwhelm or underestimate as well at the same time. So maybe it's going to take a while for us to find the right formula. How many need to be included in the sprints and what the sprint's supposed, we just need to stick with it. And I really, that's exactly what I have in mind as well, Win. So I just want us to get really ready for ourselves and in this upcoming 2-3 months so that we are ready for like a bigger community when we open up or reach out to outside empath. Any more suggestions? Okay, cool. So it seems like Monday and Friday are the highest vote. So let's just try it out, starting from what's that? Sounds good. Awesome. So I will just come up with like a temporary plan and then circulate through the listserv, and then you guys can comment on it whether it's okay to try or not. Thank you so much, everyone. So let's look at the next agenda item. Hey, Achanda, do you want just to briefly introduce yourself? I already did a little bit earlier, but I think it would be good for you just to share more information about yourself and what you plan to work on this summer.
Yeah, sure, Ada. Thank you for doing it for me. I woke up late, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Archana. I'm doing my master's in electrical and computer engineering at IUPUI. I'm done with 2 semesters. I joined here as a system engineer student, and I'm working on the fingerprint module, enhancing it. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe there are many other assignments once I complete this. Looking forward for them. It's great joining you guys. I think that's it.
Welcome, Achana.
Thank you, Ada.
Hey Archana, hi. We're a team of two of us here right now. It's Vikas and Shweta. So yeah, so we're here
Hello,
with
Vikas, and hello, Shweta.
hi. So we're actually we're a company called Sehaj, and we've been working with Ada and Vin and Simon and Derek and the rest of the group for some time now. So yeah, welcome to the team.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the implementation needs. Derek and Stephen.
Yeah, hi, thanks. Thanks for everyone. Thanks for Chana. Welcome. I think we don't have much on the implementation side. What we're only doing right now is a preparation of next week's rollout. We were to start the rollout for, we were to start trainings in Turbo community unit for lag study. But what happened is like the other project HHA like started up and the project coordinator was out in the field with together with the CDM guys to go and visit some of the sites this week. So we've rescheduled that to next week, starting on Monday. We'll be embarking on trainings at Turbo as a community unit. What I'm doing right now is I'm setting up the devices. I've already set up the devices and hooked 30 devices on production server. I'm working on another 30 devices, hooking them up on the test server, mUzima test server, which will be used during training. And I've also been looking at the error queues on the errors on the LAC VM and found out that they are wanting, and I've been working together with Savai to make sure and look at which is the best way to sort these particular errors out. That's why on the same list serve, which is that invited us to this call, I mentioned that Ada maybe we would look at some of those particular VM errors resolution method. And maybe I thought, as we were discussing with Savai, that maybe this is the due time whereby Switha has to maybe release the first version of the error resolution module such that we can have a look at it. Maybe it can give us a chance or help us to resolve some of these errors that are on the VM server. Yeah,
So,
maybe that's sure.
Yeah. So Derek, have you got a chance, or anyone got a chance to look at what type of errors in the log VM yet?
Yeah, I did a look at those particular errors, and I found out that most of these particular errors have an error, a UUID error.
What
And
kind of UUID?
yeah, I think it's a duplicate error. It says maybe that particular patient has already been registered in the system.
Okay.
Yeah. Most yeah, 3/4 of the errors.
You know, you can try to run something similar that I share with the AMR's production queries, and then just come up with some summary just to have better understanding, you know, what type of errors, you know, happen more frequent, and then what other types of errors also happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't have the access to the LogVM MySQL database. If you guys give it to me, I'll be happy to do it for you.
Okay, fine. I'll be talking together with Miencha, the system admin, so that he can give us the credentials. Then I'll send them back to you guys.
Yes, please. Yeah. So I'll be happy to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. And then I think Srita and Vikas is going to talk about the UI resolution updates later. It's going through the ticket topic.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be following that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe one question I would ask maybe Srita is the module ready? The error resolution.
I think it's still work in progress, I believe.
Okay. Thanks. That's all from my side.
Okay, so now we actually pretty much cover all the topics except the tickets updates. So Win, do you want to talk about what you found out about the Jira ticket 256, which is the mUzima crashes with an already closed exception?
Hi everyone. So the problem with that one is I need to. So in Lucene, Lucene worked with index writer and index reader. So the writer is basically writing all your data, all your documents. They call it documents, and then reader will do the query on the index. When you add a new data to the index, you need to commit. You need to do a commit, and then you can either close the writer or not. Closing will optimize the index for searching, but the key component there is when you update the index reader that you open only understand about the index before the commit. So you need to let the reader know that there's a new data in the index. So in the previous approach, what we did is we closed the index reader and then reopen a new one. This one is causing the index already closed exception happening if the process is not fast enough, the closing and reopening. Because all the query happens in a asynchronous way. So what I create, my fix is basically when we commit a data, instead of waiting for the next query to open the index reader, and have the index reader know about the new data. What I did is when we commit a new data, it will also refresh the index reader. So in the previous approach, what happens is you write a data, you close the index writer, and then you close the index reader. And then the subsequent query will recreate a new index reader based on the new commit. The fix that I did is during the closing, we also let know the index reader there's a new data. So it happens on the commit process, you refresh the reader. So there's no closing, there's no waiting for the next query to open the index reader. That's what basically the fix that I did. Any question? I hope that makes sense.
Wayne, I think this is good to explain in person, but I'm going to force you to put a update on this ticket comment. Just explain what happened. I think it's just helpful for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to start pushing everyone to do something similar, the same thing, like explain what happened, and then also put a comment, explain on the ticket. I think it will be really helpful for other developers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any question about the?
I just had a quick question. This is not really. Is this by any chance related to, how we were using the FS directly and then we switched to a simple FS?
Mm-hmm.
This is not related. This wasn't caused because of that change, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other question? No?
Just to thank you, Win. This was great work because personally I looked through, I couldn't even figure out where the issue was.
Yeah. No worries, Simon. I went through the Lucene documentation again yesterday, so. Cool. I'll write the explanation later.
Hey, sorry guys. Next one is 254. Simon, do you have an update on the 254? I know that we talked about it last week.
Yeah, I think this ticket can actually be closed. I think Simon worked on it already.
Yeah, so I think this is like a good example. Like it's good to update the ticket because it's unclear from looking at it. Actually, it's already been taken care of.
Yeah, I will close this one.
Yeah. Also, please put a comment. What exactly happened and how you resolve it. That'll be helpful.
Okay.
I think I would also suggest in the comment put the commit hash so we have a reference to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Is it the same for 253, Simon?
It should be, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon.
So, just update 253, 354.
Okay.
Cool. And then the next one is 244, Srita and Vikas.
So we're just going to share our screen to show you what progress we've made.
Go ahead.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, we can.
So we've just put some data in here which we know has errors already in it. So this form has multiple errors, and previously we were only the error handling was such that the very first error that was found, the processing would stop at that point and put that form on the error queue. So right now we are able to find multiple errors, and we made some changes in the UI. So I think from the Jira, this is how we wanted it to be displayed. The first block will just tell you about what errors are present in the form, and this actually can be expanded. And the second box is basically to show you the actual form data that was uploaded. And you can click on this edit button, and it should open up an edit form data here. So let's see what the errors are. So the first one is unable to find encounter location ID using the ID 114. So on our database, we have an encounter with location ID 1. So I'm going to hit validate. And oh, one sec, I logged. Looks like I've not logged in. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to edit this form again. So the error that we're seeing is there's no location with an ID of 114. So on our database, we have a location which has an ID of 1. I'm just going to change that and I'll validate. So, and we can go up to the errors. It scrolls up automatically and takes it to the error section again if there are errors. And that error is gone from the list. And the next error that we have is unable to find the encounter type using the ID of null. This is because this form didn't have the encounter type ID set on it. So I'm just going to add that in here. Right? And then I'm going to validate. So that error is gone as well. Third error that I'm seeing is unable to find the user using the ID of 1230. So we've just put in some data which may not be accurate, but it will work with accurate data as well. So at this point, all the errors are corrected. So we get this box which says validation is successful, and use the save button to update the form data. And if we go up, we can also see that there are no errors. There are 0 errors. So I hit the save button, which basically says, do you want to you confirm and save these changes that you've made to the form to the database? So I say yes. So now we can see that all the changes that we've made, which is this one, and we added an encounter type, and we also corrected the provider ID. Then I queue this data, and then it should show up here. And let me just check if the scheduler is running. It's going to run in 38 seconds. But I think with what we've done, Ada, is that I think pretty much phase 1 is more or less complete. Unless you have, yeah. So we've started thinking about phase 2, but because I tried my best to explain what the changes Win wanted. I think Win, you brought up some changes that you would like to see, but I think I wasn't able to convince him exactly what you wanted. So maybe it's best that you guys talk.
Thanks, Shweta. Okay, so let's first check whether it's gone to. So as you can see, it successfully processed the data which was there in a queue. So, any question, guys, on this workflow or?
I think this worked exactly what we expected for the phase 1. It identify multiple, all the error in step like 1, and also have validations before you are able to resubmit to the queue. This is really helpful.
So one thing I wanted to just point out is during the demo, just to make it look really obvious, I corrected each error in separate steps. But you can actually do it in one shot and just validate the entire form.
Yeah. So I think yeah. Okay, I think this is really good. So I want to hear feedback from Simon, Derek, and Stephen, because they will be the one who use it more often than us.
Yeah, I think these are good one, Sweta. It will be very helpful to guys when they want to do error resolution. I know the same is being asked by Lawrence and Ken of Luck. So with this one, I think we should be able to help resolve some of the data on the error key.
Yeah, I think yeah. So Derek, what do you think?
Yeah, just like I've written, this will be also very good for the whole team, especially we implementation guys together with the data managers. Yeah, and we are looking forward to see UI and use it. Yeah, and also great work, Vikas and Swetha.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I
Very good.
think the next step is for us to load this to the mUzima test server because we have tons of error messages there just for everyone to test out to make sure that it works exactly what they they expect, and then provide feedback early next week. After enough testing, I think we can go through. Simon, you can help us to submit a request to the informatics team to load it to the test server to do proper testing before it put into the production.
So I just wanted to just for the demo, we were having some issues with the data on our databases. So we tried to upload onto the test server, which is 173. We weren't able to get it to start, so we just want to let you guys know. I don't know if we've messed things up, but all that we tried to do was actually install the modules. I'm not sure it wasn't restarting after that. So we need help with someone, either Simon or Win or whoever's. Do we just send the OMODs? Is that how it would work?
That's fine.
Yeah,
You can send the OMOD.
Okay,
You can test it out first on the tester.
right. It worked fine on our machine, but then we weren't sure about the data, so we thought, okay, let's just put it on the test server. And we tried a couple of times, but it just wouldn't come up. I'm not sure what we did. So.
okay.
Yeah. And Win, I just going back to the feedback that you had. So because we've kind of almost reached the end of phase one, I think we're at a stage where we can refactor the code and kind of make it look nicer and have the controller also in better shape than it is now. So would you like to explain a little more about what changes you would like to see? So we can just factor that in before we start off on phase two.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, because there's a lot of, especially DOM changes in the controller. I was wondering if you could have like a template for the edit with all the viewer and then the data just coming in from the JavaScript side. So doesn't you don't mix the DOM changes. There's not going to be much jQuery accessing element inside the controller as opposed to so you have the page ready and then all the template will be available, like you have the tree element, and then is it possible to just send the data from the controller instead of modifying the structure of the HTML from the controller? So I was just wondering about that. How difficult to refactor it that way? Because I think that's the premise of Angular. So you'll be so you have the template page, all HTML, and all the data will be controlled from the controller side.
Yeah, correct, Win. Actually, I think we need to modify that. So currently, how it is working is through the jQuery, we are constructing the elements and putting on the page. I will uh, I will try it out when I will try to send the data from the controller to the view.
Yeah, I think Angular have a bunch of elements that you can use. For example, like if you won't need to um, replicate the tree a few times, you can just like ng repeat and something like that. So please
Yeah.
have a look at it. because thank you.
Yep. Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was something about the URL as well that you were mentioning last time.
Oh yeah, I was. I mean, it doesn't have to be going to a separate page, Sweta. If we can, what I was trying to see if it's easier for the edit to transition to a new page. That way, you can have the template for that edit page ready, and then fill the data um, from the controller side. Otherwise, you need to have like you can have it in one page, and then you can hide the template first, and then clicking on a button will toggle the mode to like edit mode and view mode, and you still can send the data from the controller to the template.
Actually, when we started designing it, that UI mockup,
Mm-hmm.
the requirement was it should show the original JSON also. So that's why it has to. That's why we have implemented something like we have the original JSON as well as the edited one in the
Yeah.
same.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just try to separate the DOM modification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, man. Will do.
Sure. So maybe this Monday we'll spend some time refactoring, trying to make it make these changes that you recommended. And I think for phase 2, both of us were wondering if we could have a short call and try. Oh, since are we starting with the new timings of the calls on starting on Monday this from next week?
I would like to, if it works for you guys, I'm flexible. If you guys are ready, I think we can start next Monday. If you guys are not ready, we can do it a week after. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that makes sense because we're anyway because of the time difference, we can work on Monday on the refactoring and then just get a high level view of how you guys want phase 2 to what phase 2 should really do and what kind of changes you'll want to see in phase 2. If we just get a very high level understanding of what is expected, then we can start working on that next week.
Sure, I think that'll be, yeah, it's feasible. We can do that. And I also, if we discuss this high-level discussion of the phase 2 on next Monday, I think it will be important for Lawrence and Derek to attend because their feedback is even more helpful than my feedback. Derek, would that work for you next Monday?
Yeah, I'll be available.
Okay, cool. Try to get Lawrence as well. He always have very good ideas.
Okay, fine. I will be in a position to copy him and yeah.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it on Monday.
Copy Lawrence and also ask him to join.
Say that one more time.
I will copy Lawrence and ask him to join on Monday.
Okay, cool. Okay. This is really nice and helpful for the UI resolution phase 1. Hopefully we can do some testing and then we can push to production soon because we really need to clean up the queue. So any more comments and feedback on the UI resolution phase 1? Okay, so we still have a few minutes and any other topic that you guys want to talk about? Sounds like a no.
Yeah. Eda, let me just mention the other issue.
Sure, Simon.
I think Derek raised it here some time back. If you go to our production server, it's not possible to view cohorts. It generates some exception. So this week, I think should be Wednesday, Lauren sent me a message. He's having issues downloading cohorts, and I think it is related to that particular issue.
Okay.
Yeah, so I created a ticket, but I thought it's because it's related to the MRS, so I created a ticket on the MRS project.
Okay, okay. Can you share that ticket? I can look it up, the ticket, or you can share with the team, and then we can look at that one.
Yeah, it's MRS 346.
This one?
Yeah.
Mm,
So I raised the issue. I discussed it with Wheeler and the entire team around, Eric and the Alfaya and the rest of the guys. So they try to look into the issue, but it's still not clear what is going wrong.
okay. Let's just look at it after the call because it's almost time. And then we can comment on that ticket, Simon.
Okay, that's cool.
It's a blocker, right? This one.
Yeah, because he cannot download cohorts. So what he doing now in the field is to manually search each and every person they want included, downloaded onto the form.
Okay, this happened in production, correct?
Sorry?
Is it happening in production, AMR's production?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
In
Okay, okay, got it. Okay, yeah, we'll look at it later today. This one.
yeah. For other servers, not that issue, even in the test server. It's only in production.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Maybe just an addition on the same, I would say there are specific periods on which this one occurs. Because other times you'll be in a position to download the cohorts. Then when you want to download the cohort later on a specific day, then you find that it's bringing that marshalling error. So I don't know, I cannot really understand why. Sure.
Okay.
That's good information, Derek. I think so because I had Wheeler ask if it happens all the time. To me, I thought it happens all the time. So I think we shall put some comment on that ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for bringing this up, Simon. I think we can just wrap this up, and we'll talk again on Monday. Starting our new call time.
Sure.
It's not fun for us, but we would like to have it. Go ahead.
Ada, quick question. Do we have SMS call happening today?
I don't think so. That's my understanding from Wheeler. He said he will let you guys know when there's an SMS call.
So he'll let us know when he wants to have a call. Is that what?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. In case you hear from him, I'm also sending a message. I just got maybe about an hour and a half back.
Yeah, I saw that. Isn't it nice?
Yeah. Since it just happened so late in the day and I was kind of working on the error queue, I haven't had time to look at it, but I just want to let you guys know that we've made some progress on it, and I will let you guys know on Monday about how we can handle the receipt and stuff like that.
Sure. Thank you. I'm so excited finally you get the receipt.
Pardon me?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so I haven't, I don't have a lot to report because I didn't do much of the testing since it was so late in the day, but maybe on Monday I'll have a better update.
Sounds good.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.